The message arrived at 2:17 a.m. Lena Carter was half asleep, phone in her hand, documentary still playing in the background. She almost ignored the notification. Almost. New DNA relative match found. Close family level. She sat up. Her heart beat faster, not from excitement but confusion. Because Lena had already tested before. Twice. Nothing unusual ever came up. Small distant cousins, random fourth-level matches, nothing important. But this one was marked in red. Close match. Immediate family range. Asterisk asterisk. That's impossible, she whispered. Her parents were asleep down the hall. She had grown up an only child. No siblings. No secrets. At least that's what she believed. She opened the report. Name Mara Ellison. Estimated relationship. Parent or child probability high. Lena frowned. Parent, she said out loud, almost laughing. That's not funny. Her mother's name was Diane Carter. Always had been. She clicked deeper into the genetic breakdown. Shared segments. Chromosome overlap. Statistical certainty. It didn't look like an error. It looked like proof. She closed the app. Opened it again. Still there. Okay, she breathed. Glitch. Just a glitch. But something inside her didn't feel calm. Because for years, one small detail had bothered her. Something her parents never explained clearly. There were no baby photos of her before age 3. Whenever she asked, her mother smiled too quickly. We lost some boxes in a storage leak, she would say. Every time. Same sentence. Same tone. Lena swung her legs off the bed. The house felt different tonight. Too quiet. Too still. She walked to the kitchen, poured water, didn't drink it. Instead, she opened the message request attached to the DNA match. A short note. I don't know if you'll see this. I've been searching for someone for a long time. Your profile might be the answer. No spam links. No weird formatting. Just that. Searching for someone. Not. I'm your mother. Not. You're my daughter. Careful words. Measured. That made it feel more real. Lena typed a reply. Deleted it. Typed again. Deleted again. Finally she wrote. I think this might be a mistake. But I'm willing to compare details. She didn't send it. Her thumb hovered over the button. Then she heard a sound behind her. Floorboard creak. She turned. Her father stood in the hallway doorway, half in shadow. You're up late, he said softly. Couldn't sleep, she answered. His eyes dropped to her phone screen. Just for a second. But she noticed. Too quick. Too alert. Everything okay? He asked. Yes, she said automatically. He nodded. Slow. Studying her face longer than usual. Get some rest, he said, then walked back down the hall. Lena didn't move. Because now she was sure of one thing. He knew something. And whatever it was, it started long before tonight. She looked back at the send button. And pressed it. Message sent. Within seconds, 3 dots appeared. A reply was coming. And it would change everything. The stranger was about to ask one question. A question Lena's parents never wanted her to hear. The reply came faster than Lena expected. 3 dots. Pause. 3 dots again. Then the message appeared. Thank you for answering. I'll be careful with my words. Can I ask, were you born in Cedar Hollow Medical Center? Lena froze. That was the hospital listed on her birth certificate. Yes, she typed. Then added, how do you know that? A moment passed. Because the child I've been searching for was recorded there too. Same night. Same wing. Her mouth went dry. That still proves nothing, she whispered to herself. Coincidences happen. Records overlap. Databases make mistakes. But her fingers were trembling now. What year? Lena asked. The answer came. Same year. Same date. Her chest tightened. She stood, paced the kitchen, came back, read it again. No, she said quietly. No, that's too neat. Another message arrived. I'm not here to shock you. I only want to compare details. If you're uncomfortable, we can stop. That tone again. Careful. Respectful. Not pushy. It didn't feel like a scam. It felt like someone afraid of being wrong. Lena typed, "Why are you searching?" Long pause this time, almost a full minute. Because a child disappeared that night. Officially marked as a hospital transfer error. But no transfer record exists. Lena stared at the screen. Transfer error. She had heard that phrase before. Not about herself, but in a strange memory from childhood. A half-remembered argument. Her parents whispering in the garage. Records got mixed. Her mother had said sharply, "Stop bringing it up." At the time, Lena thought it was about insurance papers. Now she wasn't so sure. Her phone buzzed again. An image attachment. She hesitated, then opened it. It was an old photograph. Faded. Slightly damaged at the corners. A newborn in a hospital blanket. Pink capítulo. Closed eyes. There was a date stamp at the bottom. Same birthday. Lena leaned closer. "That could be any baby," she murmured. Then she noticed something small. A crescent-shaped mark on the baby's left shoulder. Her breath caught. She had the same mark. Same shape. Same spot. She touched her shoulder through her shirt without thinking. "No," she whispered. "Lots of people have birthmarks." But her voice sounded weaker now. A new message appeared. "I never shared this photo publicly. I didn't want false claims. I'm sending it only because the DNA match is strong." Lena zoomed into the corner of the photo. Hospital wrist tag. Partially visible. The last name line was blurred. But the first letter looked like an E. Not Carter. Her pulse pounded in her ears. She typed. What name was on the tag? The typing dots appeared immediately this time. Stopped. Peered again. Stopped again. Finally. Ellison. Same as the DNA profile name. Lena felt the room tilt slightly. She sat down hard in the chair. This wasn't just a coincidence anymore. This was alignment. Data. Date. Mark. DNA. Still, she needed one thing more. Proof that couldn't be guessed. "Do you have anything else?" she asked. "Something specific." The answer came. "Yes, but it's not digital. It's a document. And it contains a signature your parents will recognize." Lena stared at that line. Your parents will recognize. Not might. Will. Footsteps sounded again in the hallway. Closer this time. Her mother's voice low and tense. "Lena? Who are you talking to?" Lena locked the screen. Too fast. Too nervous. And for the first time in her life, she didn't want her parents to see her phone. The document the stranger mentioned was signed the night Lena was born. And it didn't list her parents' names. Lena turned slowly. Her mother stood near the kitchen entrance, robe wrapped tight, eyes sharp despite the late hour. "Who are you messaging at this time?" she asked. "No one important," Lena said too quickly. A pause. Parents noticed tone before words. Her mother stepped closer. "You're pale," she said. "Are you feeling sick?" "I'm fine." "Show me your phone." The request landed heavy. Not loud. Not angry. Just firm. That was new. Lena forced a small smile. "It's just a forum chat. Crime documentary group." Her mother studied her face. Searching. Measuring. Then she nodded once. "Don't fall into those online rabbit holes," she said. "People lie." The word stuck. People lie. "Okay," Lena replied. Her mother turned, walked back down the hall. But her steps were slower than before. Listening steps. Waiting steps. Lena didn't unlock her phone for 2 full minutes. When she did, 3 new messages waited. From Mara Ellison. "I found the document. I scanned it tonight. Sending now." The file appeared. PDF preview. Hospital header. Cedar Hollow Medical Center. Her fingers felt cold as she opened it. It looked like an intake correction form. The kind used when newborn records are modified after entry. Most fields were blacked out. Except 3. Infant ID number visible. Time of birth visible.
Astérisque astérisque autorisation signature astérisque astérisque visible.
The time matched her birth certificate exactly. Down to the minute. "That can't be public," Lena whispered. Then she looked at the signature line. Not her father's name. Not Carter. The signature read,
Asterisco asterisco temporari guardian autorization. R vale asterisco asterisco.
She didn't know that name. But the handwriting, the slant, the long tail on the R, felt familiar.
Uncomfortably familiar.
Another message came. Does that name mean anything to you? Lena typed back.
No.
Who is it? A night administrator. She resigned 2 days after the incident. Incident. Not error. Incident. Lena zoomed further into the document. There was a handwritten note in the margin. Not fully crossed out. 3 words still readable. Infant reassigned per request. Her stomach dropped. Reassigned. Not transferred. Not corrected. Reassigned. She stood up again, pacing, breathing shallow. This is insane, she murmured. This is conspiracy thinking. But facts kept lining up. Too neatly. She wrote, "Why are you sure the missing child is connected to me?" The reply came almost instantly. Because the missing child had a medical flag. Lena waited. A rare blood enzyme variant. It shows up in your DNA report too. She opened her genetics app again. Scrolled. Found it. Marker present. Rare classification. She had ignored it before because it wasn't dangerous. Now it felt different. Now it felt like a fingerprint. Another message. I never stopped looking, Mara wrote. Not because of hope. Because of math. Math. Data. Probability. No drama. No pleading. Just certainty. Then one more message arrived. I don't want to push you, but you deserve to see the location note attached to the reassignment order. Lena swallowed. Send it. The attachment came. One line highlighted. Destination intake. Carter residence authorization pending. The room went silent. Her last name. On a reassignment line. Dated the night she was born. A sound came from the hallway again. Not footsteps this time. A voice. Her father's voice. Low.
Urgent.
Whispering. We need to talk. Now. Not to her. To her mother. And they sounded afraid. Lena was about to learn that the reassignment wasn't random. It was requested by someone inside her own house. Lena didn't move. Her parents' voices carried softly through the hallway. Not loud. Not clear. But tense. Adult whispers have weight. You can feel them even when you can't hear every word. She stepped closer. Quiet. Barefoot. Slow breaths. The hallway light was off. Only the small lamp near the stairs was on, casting a thin yellow line across the floor. Her parents stood near their bedroom door. Too early, her father was saying. Not supposed to happen yet. Her mother answered tighter, sharper. You said the records were sealed. They were. Then how? Their voices dropped lower. Lena leaned slightly, just enough to catch the next line. DNA databases changed everything. Her pulse jumped. They knew. Not guessing. Not suspecting. Knowing. She stepped back before the floorboard could betray her. Returned to the kitchen. Saturday. Locked her face into calm. Her phone lit again. Mara had sent another message. I don't want to alarm you, but if your parents act nervous when records are mentioned, don't confront them yet. Too late for that advice. Lena typed. Why would they be involved? The reply took longer this time. Because reassignment requests require a receiving signature within 12 hours.
Signature.
Her mind flashed back to the document.
Temporari guardian. R vale.
Not her parents. So who approved the final release? Another attachment arrived. Different form. Different header. Post-intake confirmation, private placement. Stamped. Signed. The parent name line was visible now. But the signature itself was messy. Scribbled. Hard to read. Except for one clear letter at the start. A big looping D. Diane. Her mother's name. Lena stared without blinking. No, she whispered. That could be anyone. But deep down she recognized the curve. The pressure marks. The way the pen dug in at the end. She had seen that signature on school forms her whole life. Her chest felt tight. Not panic. Not yet. Something quieter. A slow internal tilt. She typed. What was the incident that night? Mara answered with a voice note instead of text. Lena hesitated, then pressed play. A calm woman's voice spoke. Measured. Controlled. Carrying years of restraint. 2 infants were flagged for identity verification after a system outage. 1 record restored clean. The other, redirected manually. That manual redirect is what I've been investigating. Redirected manually. Not lost. Moved. On purpose. The voice continued. I didn't believe it at first. Hospitals don't just move newborn identities. But the paper trail shows intervention. Not accident. Lena replayed the note twice. Each time it sounded less like theory. More like conclusion. Another text followed. I need to ask something difficult. Lena braced herself. Did you ever feel like your parents were afraid of official paperwork? Memory answered before she could. Field trip forms signed late. Passport application delayed 3 times. Insurance updates handled only in person, never online. Patterns she had never connected. Until now. A soft sound came from behind her. She turned. Her mother stood there again. Closer than before. You're shaking, she said quietly. I'm cold, Lena answered. Her mother looked at the phone in her hand. Who keeps messaging you? Lena met her eyes. For a second, truth almost came out. Instead, she said, just someone from a genealogy forum. Her mother's expression changed. Not confusion, recognition, just for a blink. Then it vanished. Delete those apps, she said. Too fast. Too firm. They cause trouble. Trouble. Not mistakes. Trouble. And that word confirmed more than denial ever could. Lena now knew the records were changed on purpose, but she still didn't know why she was chosen. Lena didn't delete the app. She pretended to. She held the screen up, tapped a few places, nodded slightly, like the task was done. Her mother watched. Careful. Measuring. Good, she said softly. Some searches open doors that should stay closed. Closed. Not wrong. Not useless. Closed. I'm going to sleep, her mother added. But she didn't leave right away. She waited, as if expecting another question. Lena gave none. After a few seconds, the hallway light clicked off again. The house returned to its midnight silence. Lena counted to 30, then unlocked her phone under the table. For new messages from Mara. I may have found the selection criteria. Selection. Not accident. Not mix-up. Selection. Lena typed back. Send it. A document photo arrived. Not a hospital form this time. A research memo header. Old. Stamped. Internal use only. Most lines were blurred, but one paragraph was readable. Infant candidates with marker E17 variant prioritized for private placement requests. Her eyes narrowed.
Markere 17.
She opened her DNA report again. There it was. E17 enzyme variant rare. Prioritized, she whispered. Like a list. Like inventory. Her fingers felt numb now. What is private placement? She asked. Mara replied. It's a discontinued program. Short-lived. Poorly documented. Some families could request newborn guardianship if genetic criteria matched certain medical needs. Medical needs. Not adoption. Matching. Targeting. Filtering. Another message followed. Most requests were denied. A few were approved. Yours was approved. Lena stared at the sentence until it blurred. Approved. By someone. Requested by someone. Her parents wanted that marker. Not just a child. A specific child. Her throat tightened, but not with tears. With realization. Memory fragments shifted into new shapes. The yearly medical tests. The specialized nutrition plans. The just being cautious doctor visits. Not random care. Monitoring. She typed slowly. What medical need matches 17? The typing dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. When the answer came, it was careful. It helps regulate a rare immune instability. Transferable benefit in close genetic environments. Transferable. Benefit. Environment. Not treatment. Advantage. Say it clearly, Lena wrote. Please. Mara sent another voice note. The program believed, wrongly in my opinion, That placing an E17 carrier into a household with immune risk adults could stabilize exposure patterns. It was experimental thinking, not approved science. Experimental. Lena leaned back in the chair. Her father's medical history surfaced in her mind. Autoimmune complications. Chronic. Managed, but always described as improved after your early childhood years. Not cured. Improved. Another message arrived. I want to be clear, Mara wrote. You were not taken violently. You were reassigned administratively. That doesn't make it right. No violence. No kidnapping. Paper decisions. Quiet ones. Signed ones. That made it heavier somehow. Because forms don't panic. People choose. Her phone buzzed again. A final line from Mara. There's one more page I haven't shown you yet. It explains the condition attached to your placement. Condition. Not note. Condition. From the hallway came a sound Lena hadn't heard before tonight. Not footsteps. Not whispers. A drawer opening. The locked study drawer. Her father's study. The one he never left unlocked. And right after that, the low beep of a scanner. Documents being copied. At 3 a.m. by people who said there was nothing to hide. The placement file included a condition clause, and it named the exact age Lena was never supposed to learn the truth. Lena didn't think. She moved. Quiet steps. Slow breath. Phone light dimmed. The study door was slightly open, just enough to leak a thin bar of white light into the hallway. The scanner sound came again. Soft. Mechanical. Careful. She stopped beside the wall listening. Paper slide. Beep. Pause. Slide again. Her father spoke in a low voice. We should have destroyed these years ago. Her mother answered tense. We were told to keep originals. Not forever. Until the age limit passed. Age limit. The words landed like a switch flipping on. Lena stepped back silently. Heart steady now, not racing. When fear becomes confirmation, it changes shape. She returned to the kitchen table. Opened her messages. A new file from Mara waited. Condition clause. Placement approval addendum. She opened it. Legal formatting. Dense text. Signatures at the bottom. One paragraph highlighted. Identity disclosure restriction recommended until subject reaches age 26, unless medical trigger event occurs earlier. She read it twice. Then a third time. Age 26. She was 25. Her next birthday 4 months away. They weren't going to tell me, she whispered. They were going to wait out the clause. Let the clock expire. Let silence win. A message popped in. That clause appears in only 3 known cases, Mara wrote.
Ho le 17 placements.
Placements. Not births. Placements. Lena typed. What is a medical trigger event? Reply. A DNA database match from a direct biological relative. She stared at the screen. That's me, she said softly. The trigger already happened. Tonight. The system they feared had activated. Not a countdown. An alarm. Another message came. Once triggered, ethical guidelines recommend voluntary disclosure. Recommend. Not require. Guidelines are suggestions. People choose whether to follow them. She heard footsteps again. Faster this time. Her parents moving between rooms. Drawers.
Cabinet d'ors.
Low voices. Not sleeping. Managing. Containing. Her phone vibrated. I need to tell you something personal, Mara wrote. And I want you to read it fully before reacting. Lena steadied her hands. Okay. The message came in one block. I am not just the researcher on the reassignment program. I'm the biological aunt of the missing infant. Aunt. Not mother. Not stranger. Family, but one step removed. Less emotional. More persistent. My sister never stopped looking, Mara continued. But she stopped going public. She believed the child was alive, just renamed. Renamed. Not gone. Another line followed. She made me promise something before she passed. Passed. Lena swallowed. Slow breath. Promise what? She typed. The reply. If the DNA system ever confirmed a match, I would show the subject the full truth, even if it broke agreements. Full truth. Not partial. Not gentle. Full. A new attachment appeared. Not a form. Not a memo. A photograph. Older. Clearer than the baby photo before. A woman holding a newborn in recovery room lighting. The woman's hospital bracelet name was visible. Ellison. The baby's shoulder crescent birthmark. Same. Exact. No doubt now. No probability language. No estimates. Just reality. From the hallway, sudden silence. No more drawers. No more scanning. Silence means decisions are finished. And decisions mean action comes next. The final page in Mara's file didn't just reveal Lena's origin. It revealed why her reassignment had to stay hidden. Lena kept staring at the photo. The woman holding the newborn looked exhausted, but peaceful. The kind of tired that comes from relief, not fear. No hospital panic. No emergency scene. Just a mother who believed she was taking her baby home. Then what happened? Lena whispered. Her phone vibrated. Mara's next message arrived. The last page explains motive, not just method. Motive. That word changed everything. Errors are accidents. Motives are choices. The attachment followed. Program justification addendum. Internal only. Dense language. Institutional tone. No emotion. She scanned until her eyes caught the highlighted section. E17 carriers demonstrate measurable immune modulation, effect within shared residential exposure groups. She read slower. Pilot placements indicate reduced flare frequency in cohabiting autoimmune subjects. Reduced flare frequency. Her father. Autoimmune condition. Years of unexpected improvement. Not luck. Not treatment success. Exposure effect. She leaned back, exhaled once. So I wasn't chosen, she said quietly. I was useful. The word hurt less than she expected, because it fit too well. Another message appeared. I struggled with that wording too, Mara wrote. The program saw children as variables. Variables. Not names. Not lives. Rows in a table. Lena typed. Did my parents know the benefit reason? Long pause. Then. Yes. It's included in the approval briefing they signed. Signed. Not tricked. Not misled. Informed. Agreement, not confusion. Memory shifted again. Her father once saying years ago, half joking, "You've been the best medicine I ever got." Everyone laughed. He didn't. She thought it was sentiment. Now it sounded literal. Another message came. I need to add something important, Mara wrote. There is no evidence they harmed anyone to receive placement. That mattered. It grounded the story. No abduction. No violence. Paper channels. Quiet approvals. Still wrong. But different wrong. From the hallway came a soft knock on the wall, 3 taps. Their family signal from childhood. Used when conversations were needed without shouting. Her mother's voice followed. Lena, are you awake? Lena looked at the study clock across the hall. 3:42 a.m. Yes, she answered. Come sit with us, her mother said. Calm tone. Decision tone. Not optional. Scheduled truth. She typed quickly to Mara. They're calling me. Reply came instantly. Do not accuse. Let them talk first. Smart. Information flows better when not forced. Lena stood. Walked to the living room. Both parents were there. Sitting straight. No sleep in their eyes. A folder lay on the coffee table. Physical papers. Prepared. Her father spoke first. We didn't plan to tell you like this. Not denial. Opening statement. Her mother added. But since something has surfaced, we won't lie. Won't. Meaning they had been. But not now. Controlled honesty is still strategy. Lena sat across from them. Hand steady. Voice level. Then tell me, she said. What exactly did you request the night I was born? Neither corrected the sentence. Not the night you came home. The night you were born. They accepted the frame. Which meant they accepted the truth. Their answer would reveal one more hidden condition. One that explained why Lena could never be allowed to leave the city before age 18. The room felt still. Not tense. Not loud. Just finished. Like a decision had already been made before she sat down. Her father opened the folder. No hesitation now. No pretending. We enrolled in a medical placement program, he said. Before you were assigned to us. Assigned, not born to us. Language reveals truth when people stop guarding it. Lena nodded once. Small. Steady. I know, she said. Both of them blinked. That changed their posture immediately. Her mother leaned forward. How much do you know? Enough, Lena replied. Tell me the part you think I don't. Silence, then a breath. Her father slid one paper out and turned it toward her. Placement came with conditions, he said. Conditions. Plural. Not just secrecy. She looked down. Residential stability requirement, subject clause. Legal wording again. Cold. Structured. One line highlighted in pen. Subject must remain within approved county zone until age 18 unless program physician authorizes relocation. Remain within zone. Boundary rule. Not suggestion. Restriction. Lena let out a slow breath through her nose. So that's why, she said quietly. Why what? Her mother asked. Why every out-of-state school trip got declined. Every summer camp denied. Every travel plan delayed. Her parents didn't answer. They didn't need to. Confirmation lives in silence. Her mother spoke gently now. We were told relocation could disrupt the immune exposure pattern. Pattern. There was that word again. Pattern meant environment. Environment meant her. Not their health. Her presence. You followed it exactly, Lena said. Yes, her father replied. Nos chamton. No pridetone. Just fact. Because you were afraid? Lena asked. He shook his head. Because we agreed. Agreement. Ownership of choice. That mattered. Another paper slid across the table. Medical reports. Charts. Timelines. His autoimmune flare frequency year by year. High before placement. Lower after. Not zero. But reduced. Correlation drawn in neat blue ink. No drama. Just data. You were never a treatment, her mother said softly. You were our daughter. Both can be true. That's what made it complicated. Lena studied their faces. No villain look. No guilt panique. Just people who made a decision long ago and learned to live inside it. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She didn't check it. This moment belonged here. With you, she said. Why didn't you tell me at 18? She asked. Her father answered immediately. Because the final clause hadn't expired. Final clause. There was more. Always one more page. Her mother nodded. Disclosure age recommendation was 26. We thought if we waited, you'd be safer. Safer. Not calmer. Not happier. Safer. From what? Lena asked. They exchanged a glance. Not fear. Calculation. Her father said it plainly. From being claimed back. Claimed. Not contacted. Claimed. Like property language again. Program language. Her pulse ticked up one level. By who? She asked. Her mother swallowed. The biological line. Line. Not family. Line means legal vector. Institutional phrasing again. You thought they'd come take me, Lena said. We didn't know, her father replied. The agreement language was unclear. Unclear agreements create long silence. Her phone buzzed again. Twice. 3 times. Persistent. Her mother noticed. You can check it, she said quietly. Permission now. Control shifting. Lena looked. Messages from Mara. 3 lines. There's something I didn't see before. The boundary rule wasn't medical. It was legal. Legal. Not health. Not safety. Law. Different danger. The county boundary wasn't about immune patterns. It was about jurisdiction. And who had the right to reverse the placement. Lena read the messages twice. Legal. Not medical. She looked up at her parents. The boundary rule, she said calmly, wasn't about health, was it? A pause. Too long. That was answer enough. Her father exhaled slowly. No, he said. Not entirely. Not entirely means mostly not. Her mother pressed her hands together. It was about jurisdiction control, she said. Where disputes could be filed. Disputes. Not checkups. Not reviews. Disputes are legal challenges. Lena leaned back slightly. So if I left the county, she said, someone could reopen the placement. Her father nodded once. Yes. Clean. Direct. No softening. Who? Lena asked. He didn't dodge it. The biological claimant. Claimant. Not parent. Legal word again. Her phone buzzed, Mara typing. I confirmed it, the message read. The program required placements to remain in original approval jurisdiction until contest window expired. Contest window. Like a contract return period. Only for a human life. How long was the contest window? Lena typed. Reply came. 18 years standard. 26 recommended if genetic value classification was marked high. Genetic value. There it was. The phrase no one wanted to say out loud. Not daughter. Not child. Value. She felt something then, not anger, not sadness. Clarity. A clean internal line. People didn't lie to hurt her. They lied to keep an agreement alive. Different motive. Same consequence. She looked at her parents again. You weren't afraid they'd take me, she said. You were afraid they'd win. Her mother's eyes watered, but she didn't cry. Yes, she answered. Truth finally unwrapped. Her father added. The contract favored origin claims if jurisdiction changed early. Origin claims. Paper parents versus biological line. Court language. No kidnappers. Just signatures competing. Another message from Mara arrived. There's one more record, she wrote. A sealed appeal that was never processed. Lena typed. Appeal by who? By your biological mother. Filed year 2. Rejected on technical grounds. Year 2. She tried to picture it. A woman filing forms. Waiting. Being told no because of paperwork timing. Not because of truth. Because of format. Her chest tightened briefly. Then steadied. Did you know about the appeal? Lena asked her parents. Her father shook his head immediately. No. We were told no contest was filed. Told. Not shown. Secondhand truth is fragile. Her mother spoke softly. If we had known, we would have prepared differently. Prepared. Not reversed. Not cancelled. Just prepared. Important difference. Another message buzzed in. The rejection reason is strange, Mara wrote. The denial cites a missing attachment, but the archive shows it was included. Included but ignored. Or removed. Administrative silence. Which sometimes hides intentional decisions. Lena stood. Walked to the window. Night still outside. No traffic. No sound. My life, she said quietly, was decided by paperwork routing. No one argued. Because it was accurate. Her phone vibrated again. Final message from Mara for now. There is one last sealed note attached to your file. Written by the night administrator. It explains why your case was pushed through approval so fast. The night administrator. Vale. The first signature. The first redirect. The unseen mover. The administrator's sealed note didn't justify the placement. It warned against it. Lena didn't sit back down. Some truths are easier to hear standing. Send the note, she typed to Mara. No delay this time. The file arrived already scanned, already highlighted. Internal memorandum administrator comment R. Vale. Short. Not legal language. Not institutional tone. Personal. That made it heavier. She read it slowly. Approval is being accelerated under pressure. Genetic benefit theory remains unproven. Ethical risk high. Recommend delay and independent review. She read it again. Pressure. Unproven. Ethical risk. Recommend delay. This wasn't support. It was warning. Another line below, handwritten. If placement proceeds, subject deserves full disclosure at maturity. Silence will cause harm. Silence will cause harm. Lena let out a slow breath. That's the most honest line in the whole file, she said quietly. Her parents watched her face, not the paper. What does it say? Her mother asked. Lena answered plainly. She told them not to do it. No drama added.
No acquiescas 101.
Just fact. Her father closed his eyes briefly. Then why was it approved? He asked, not to Lena but to the air. Her phone buzzed again. Mar, approval override signature belongs to a program director who resigned 6 months later. Pattern. Warnings ignored.
Fast approvals.
Early resignations. Not chaos. Rush. Rush decisions leave cracks. Lena typed. Did our veil disappear? Reply. No. She testified in 2 ethics hearings years later. Your case number appears in 1 transcript. Testified. Not hid. Tried to correct later. Too late for process. Right on time for truth. Lena turned back to her parents. You weren't the only ones warned, she said. The administrator objected. Her mother's voice softened. We weren't shown objections. Only benefits. Only benefits. Sales version. Not risk version. That happens more often than people admit. Her father leaned forward. If we had seen a formal objection, we would have paused. Would have. Not did. Time only moves one direction. Lena nodded once. I believe you, she said. And she did. Because regret has a different sound than guilt. Regret is quieter. Heavier. Her phone vibrated again. New message. There's something else, Mara wrote. The note includes a sealed addendum addressed to the future subject, meaning you. Addressed. Directly. Not legally. Personally. A letter across time. Lena felt a small shift inside her chest. Not fear. Not shock. Recognition. This part, Mara added, was never delivered. Never delivered. Because silence clause beat warning clause. She opened the addendum. Typed text. Short paragraphs.
No jargón.
First line. If you are reading this, it means the system did not protect your right to know. Her throat tightened just slightly. Second line. You were never a correction. You were a compromise. Compromise. Between adults. Between theories. Between needs. Another line. Your identity is not defined by the reason they chose you. That one landed deeper. Because it removed the label. Not variable. Not carrier. Person. She looked up. Both parents were watching, uncertain, open, tired. What are you feeling? Her mother asked gently. Lena answered after a pause. Not what you expect. Which is? Not anger, she said. Alignment. They didn't understand the word, but they felt the calm behind it. Her phone buzzed one more time. Mara again. There is still one unresolved piece. Why your biological mother stopped escalating after the appeal. Stopped. Not lost. Not defeated. Stopped. Choice, not failure. The reason she stopped wasn't legal, wasn't medical. It was a promise someone made face to face. Lena read the message again. Stopped, not defeated. There's a difference. Ask, she typed to Mara. Why did she stop? The reply came slower than usual this time. Measured. Careful. Because she met them. Met. Not contacted. Not notified. Met in person. Lena looked up at her parents. Did you ever meet the biological mother? She asked.
No acquiescas 101.
Just a question placed gently on the table. Her parents exchanged a look. Not panic, not shock. Memory. Her father answered first. Yes.
No hesitaste.
Her mother nodded after him. Once, she added. In a hospital corridor. Year 2. Year 2. The appeal year. The missing attachment year. The stopping year. The puzzle pieces aligned without force. Tell me, Lena said quietly. Her mother took a breath. The kind people take before opening an old drawer in their mind. She requested a supervised meeting, she said. Not custody. Not confrontation. Just a meeting. Requested. Not demanded. Tone matters. We were advised not to go, her father added. But we went anyway. That surprised Lena and showed on her face. Why? She asked. Because paper arguments are one thing, he said. But a human request is another. Human request. That line stayed with her. Her mother continued. She looked tired, she said softly. Not angry. Not unstable. Just certain. Certain people don't shout. They state. She asked one question, her mother said. Lena leaned forward slightly. What question? Her mother swallowed. She asked, is she safe? Safe. Not give her back. Not prove she's mine. Safe. Lena's chest tightened, warm, not sharp. Her father nodded. We said yes. And then? Lena asked. She studied our faces for a long time, her mother replied. Like she was verifying something without instruments. Verification without data. Human reading. Truth detection through stillness. Then she said, don't move her again. Again. Meaning once was already too much. Mara's message arrived while they spoke. The meeting note says she withdrew escalation voluntarily after observation. Observation. Not persuasion. Not defeat. Decision. Lena typed. Did she ask for updates? No, Mara replied. She asked for one promise instead. Lena's eyes lifted slowly to her parents. What promise? She asked, already knowing they would answer the same. Her father spoke quietly. That we would raise you without program language. Program language. Variable. Carrier. Subject. Labels, not names. Her mother added. She said, let her grow as a person, not a solution. The room went still. Because that line completed the circle. Not conflict. Not surrender. Transfer of trust. Adult to adult. Choice, not loss. Lena exhaled slowly. She chose silence, Lena said. Yes, her mother answered. Not because she lost, because she decided. Decision carries dignity, even when it hurts. Another message from Mara arrived. There is one last envelope in the archive. Marked. Open only if contact is established by subject. Contact established. That moment was now. Lena felt something shift inside again. Not shock. Not grief. Recognition. Like stepping into a room built long ago. Finally unlocked. The sealed envelope didn't contain a claim or a demand. It contained a message written only for Lena, in her real birth name. Lena didn't rush to open the envelope file. Some things shouldn't be opened with shaking hands. Send it, she typed. Mara replied with one line first. No pressure. Read it only when you feel steady. Steady. That word mattered more than comfort. The file arrived. Subject letter. Release conditional direct. No legal headers. No program stamps. Just plain text. Written years ago. Saved. Sealed. Waiting. Lena opened it. First line. If this reaches you, it means truth arrived through your own steps, not force. She breathed in slowly. Second line. I was given the option to fight longer. I chose not to. Not couldn't. Chose. Choice again. Not because you weren't mine, but because I saw you were already becoming yourself. Not property language. Identity language. Lena read without blinking now. I met the people raising you. They were afraid, but not cruel. She glanced at her parents, both very still, listening to words written by someone they met once and never forgot. Fearful people make controlled decisions. Loving people make continuing ones. I believed they would continue. Continue. Not perfect. Present. Another line. I did not lose you. I released the argument. Released, not surrendered. That sentence changed the emotional math. No theft story. No rescue story. A decision story. Then the line Mara mentioned. Your birth name was Mira Ellison. You may keep it, change it, or ignore it. A name is a door, not a cage. Lena read it twice. Mira. The sound felt familiar, not because she remembered it, but because it fit easily. Nosok. Just resonance. Next line. Do not let origin decide obligation. Origin is not equal to destiny. Paper is not equal to identity. Biology is not equal to ownership. The moral wasn't hidden. It was placed gently. Final lines. If you ever learn this truth, don't pick sides. Pick honesty. And live forward, not backward. No request to return. No request to choose. Only instruction to stay whole. Lena closed the file. Silence, but not empty silence. Settled silence. Her mother spoke first, voice soft. What did she say? Lena answered simply. She kept her promise. Both parents understood. Because promises aren't only about action. Sometimes they're about restraint. Her father asked quietly, Are you leaving? Not are you angry? Not do you forgive us? Are you leaving? Fear distilled to one question. Lena shook her head once. No, she said. I'm not a package being reassigned again. That line changed the room. Ownership returned to her fully. I'm staying, she continued. But I'm not staying silent. Both nodded. Agreement without negotiation. Her phone buzzed. Mara. Whatever you choose next, it's yours. Yes, that was the unexpected truth. No one owned the ending. Not the program. Not the biology. Not the signatures. Choice returned to the subject. Subject became person. Lena typed one last reply. Thank you for finishing the record. She stood, looked at both parents. I have two true things, she said calmly. You raised me. She released me. I don't need to erase either. No sides chosen. Honesty chosen. That was the silent realization. No tears seen.
No dramatic exit.
Just alignment. Identity built forward. Not corrected backward.